Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another qualifier from Master Coliseum 8, the Korean qualifier. And of course, your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. If you're in the chat, exclamation mark B, and the brackets are live. The brackets are live, the brackets are stacked, and we are jumping to our first series of the night. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove, we have our red Protoss player from South Korea. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the other South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing himself, currently teamless. It is ReBellioN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat. As a reminder, every single match is a best of 3, including the qualifying matches. And of these matches, of all these players, only three will qualify. That does mean that the semifinals are going to be qualifying matches. The losers of those semifinals will be knocked down to a bronze match, to a third place match to determine the final player to make it through, to qualify. Oh boy, so it's all about making it to at least the semifinals to have a chance at making it into the main event. We've already held the Asia qualifiers, we've already held the Europe and Americas qualifiers. There's 2 qualifiers left. Here, the Korean one, and tomorrow, the global one. No boy. The pressure is on. The pressure is on. When it comes to our matches, when it comes to our players, I believe most of the casters are jumping into Gumiho versus Nightmare. I don't blame them. It is a very, very juicy series, and honestly, it could go either way. So there's a lot of hype behind Gumiho versus Nightmare. I think most casters are all over that. But I did want to try to head on over to the other half of the bracket instead. But there are some players that are MIA, specifically Classic. I was looking and waiting for Classic. Classic hasn't shown yet, and we'll see if he does show in the coming matches. Otherwise, there's going to be a walkover. That would be very unfortunate. We'll go over the bracket after this series. There's a lot to go over. There's a lot to embrace in that bracket. For now, 2 get open. 2 get open at ReBellioN, likewise 2 get open at Zoun as well. Standard starts. We're loading into King's Cove. King's Cove, of course, being a much larger map of the map pool. Long rush distance by ground. Very defendable 3-base setup. The 4th base is a different story. 4th base is more exposed 100%, but that goes both ways. Does go both ways. So we could see some more mid-game aggression. For the time being, though, we are settling in. We have our units of choice. It is going to be Stalker Sentry from Zoun. Meanwhile, ReBellioN going for a single Sentry into a faster expansion. But, ooh, he is blocked. Is denied. So ReBellioN, he attempted a faster Nexus. At last, he's going to be denied that. Going for a Robo in the main. So as ReBellioN was attempting to go for something more economic, he's forced to throw down some tech, and this could turn into a 1-base all-in. This could turn into suddenly a very, very committed 1-base all-in. Never mind, ReBellioN, he's banking on minerals, and he will expand. Nexus is on the way, the probe is denied, Zoun is in the dark as to what's going on, and ReBellioN will have the faster Robo. With this, I imagine just going to be opening up either Observer or Warp Prism into Adept Harass. We'll see. Keep an eye on ReBellioN. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have Zoun settling in, just establishing his natural, scouting for proxies, checking here at the 3rd base location, checking at the 4th base location as well. It's all about that scouting, just ensuring that nothing too intense is going on, as Hallucination will confirm the take of choice. We'll confirm the Robo. Again, as we mentioned, it's going to be the War Prism first. This should be Prism into Adepts. Of course, has a lot of potential to do economic damage. Ideally, the War Prism gets across the map and allows the Adepts to get into a mineral line and to wreak havoc. 2 Adepts, that's all it takes to one-shot a worker. All it takes to one-shot probes, Pappy. See if we can get there. As the Prism has arrived, army's building up. Here we go. ReBellioN. Now, I assumed it was going to be for Adept Harass, but he's actually committing here with a Sentry-based move out. This is quite committed. Like, this is quite aggressive here from ReBellioN, throwing down a 3rd gateway behind this, and motor production has begun. And ReBellioN, now this early on, with this hefty of an army with force fields, he can actually break through Zoun. Like, force fields are king this early on because there's no blink. Blink is not ready. In a way, ReBellioN has defensive blink because he can, of course, lift and protect his units with a War Prism. True. So ReBellioN has more mobility than Zoun. Zoun is lacking that. Blink is halfway done. Zoun is not quite ready for this. We do have a couple of tank shots there on the hallucinations. Nicely done. Force fields get thrown down. And ReBellioN just has to wait them out. So far so good. Saves all the units. Hasn't lost anything yet. only losing hallucinations. At the same time, Adepts shade across the map, going into the mineral line. ReBellioN is already at home. Probes are going to be going down. Yeah, 1, 2 workers lost mine time as well. ReBellioN likewise shading into the main. Does he commit? Oh, he does. Does commit. Trying to collapse on the army. Coming in from behind, but the Adepts are going to be cleaned up. Will be shut down. Zoun maintains a worker lead. Across the map, ReBellioN does wall off. We'll lose extra workers. Looking at the Usos tab, ReBellioN lost 5 probes. Zoun lost nothing. So very nice defense here out of Zoun. He holds, he defends. Blink is now done, and ReBellioN has to get the hell out of here. He has to back off. He missed his timing, misses opportunity. And now he's in a rough position. Now suddenly the pendulum swings in favor of Zoun. As Zoun has Mass Blink Stalker. ReBellioN backing off, building up his immortal counts, going into Glaive Adepts. It looks like an all-in follow-up. Glaives does not scale into a longer game. So it looks like ReBellioN is going for a committed 2-base push. As for now, he's still building up, has to wait for the upgrades. There we go, gateways on the way. Again, ReBellioN chose to throw in an extra gateways instead of expanding. And the hallucination will see everything. The power of the hallucination. Zoun, he confirms, takes out the prism. No shot, that was the prism going down. War Prism does fall, that's Naruto's pylon, instead just going for the probes. ReBellioN trying to keep up, will zone Zoun away. But he just rotates over towards the natural, getting another pylon. At least attempting to. Oh, trading with the army. Nice blinks, saves all his units. Zoun, he does back off, does escape. Breaking in once again. Ooh, will bleed out 1 Stalker. More reinforcements coming in. 3rd expansion. Zoun getting further ahead economically, working towards +1. Charge. As a reminder, ReBellioN is all in on 2 bases. And he's building up that immortal count. He's got 3 immortals already. That's a lot of immortals. Might be down in Stalkers, but the immortals, they make up for that. Zoun has to back off. Meanwhile, Glaive's almost done. War Prism as well. And then it's going to be go time for ReBellioN. It's going to be all or nothing. Zoun falling back home. Again, he just has to be defensive, going for a counterattack as well. Bold move here and a little bit unnecessary here for Zoun. It is quite risky. Means that supply is going to be across the map, not at home, but he can always recall. True. He can always recall back home if need be. Here comes that all in. We'll pick up more workers. Ooh. Forcing a defensive warping out of ReBellioN. Ay. That means that much less across the map. Nice blinks out of Zoun. Nice force fields as well. He's holding the line. Zoun, he retreats across the map. And again, he can always recall to reinforce. Or even just turn back around. Or just continue harassing. He has options. Adepts, they cancel the shade. ReBellioN pushing in once again into a concave force field. They lock down the immortals. Yeah, the immortals, they barely come into play. They barely had any DPS. Now we go for the dive. Oof, ambitious dive here from Zoun. We'll catch 1 immortal. Gets 1. We'll get 2. Takes extra volleys though. Took a long time to bring them down. There's now 1 immortal left. With the help of the shield batteries, with the concave, with the reinforcements, Zoun, he should have enough. He should, and he does. Cleans up the army. Again, there's still 1 remaining immortal. Going for the dive. GG gets called, and Zoun takes game number 1. GG. So let's start the series here from Zoun. Does take a lead, and we'll see if he can claim it here. Remember, it is a best of 3, and then needs to amass 1 more game to make it through. Meanwhile, when it comes to an update regarding Classic, Classic was late. He has arrived. He has arrived, which means we'll be delving into some of his matches later on. We'll, again, go over the bracket after this series. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't you worry. As we're jumping into game number 2, it's going to be on ley lines. We go. And again, we'll see if ReBellioN can bounce back. Again, he is the underdog coming into this series. Zoun, he's hot stuff, right out of the military, and has been looking very strong, very powerful these past couple of months. But we'll see. We'll see if we can force the ace match this morning. In the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player down in the series after attempted failed aggression in the first game. We'll see if he calms things down or just doubles down once again. It is ReBellioN. Here we go. Yes, welcome one and all to the third qualifier for Masters Coliseum. It's been an intense couple of days here, and I was mentioning in the chat earlier, but there is another cast in a couple of hours. We are going to be casting Cheeseadelphia. That is in how many hours time? 4, just under 4 hours. So in under 4 hours, we'll be covering another tournament. That also means that if this qualifier lasts a little bit too long, then we will have to cut it short. Now, we should be able to make it to at least the qualifying matches, and at least the first qualifying match, but I'm very on the fence about the third place match. That third place match, hopefully we can cover it as well, but it does depend on the length of some of these matches and how long some of these rounds do last. So it will depend. For now, we're settling in. Alright, going to be settling in. To have our initial gate expand by Zoun. Okay, yeah, my attention. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of ReBellioN, so standard opener out of our blue Protoss player. Meanwhile, Zoun is opening up with a more greedy economic opener. He is setting up for a gate into, I would imagine, Stargate, then into expansion. We'll see how and when he does throw down the Stargate. Pylon will block, but we set up the Stargate across the map. So again, as we mentioned, it is a Stargate follow-up, but it is a proxy Stargate follow-up. Let's go. Zoun going to be that much more aggressive. This means that the Oracle takes that much less time to get across the map into a mineral line. Probes are going to be in danger, under fire. On the one hand, sure, ReBellioN, he is delaying the expansion. Little does he know that he has to prepare back at home. Now we do have a safety shield. Let's go. Safety shield battery in the main. Now again, ReBellioN, he did scout the opener, and as we mentioned, as ReBellioN knows, he knows that there should be a Stargate. I'm sure he believes that it's back at home, further back in the main. Doesn't quite know that it's proxied. Despite that, because of the timing of the shield battery, it will be ready. Will be ready in time for the Oracle. Meanwhile, ReBellioN, he's going to be throwing down his pylon, 1 base all in. Yeah, he responds with a 1 base all in. Again, this makes sense considering the more economic start here by Zoun. Zoun, he throws down a second gateway further back in the main, but ReBellioN will have the army advantage. And Zoun's going to be in a bit of trouble here. Shield battery's on the way, but he'll be overwhelmed. Yeah, Stalkers, they dive in, they bleed back the Stalker. Boys have to be pulled. Zoun is holding on. Force to pull the boys. Shield battery is now done. Oracle's moving in, but again, the shield battery is ready here in the main of ReBellioN. It is ready, which means this Oracle, it's going to have a harder time of finding some damage. Going for the stasis. Oh, ReBellioN does pull away. Pulls away in time. Now he knows, of course, of the Stargate follow-up. And he should be aware of the proxy. Again, ReBellioN should commit. We see Zoun setting up another... Oh my god, never mind! I assumed that ReBellioN was going to throw down extra gateways, but no, he throws down an expansion. ReBellioN is macroing out of this. Like, okay, fair enough. Meanwhile, Zoun is still committed. He throws down a 3rd gateway of Robo as well. This looks like a 1 base all in, and Zoun, he'll be able to reinforce across the map. He'll be able to reinforce, eventually. For now, ooh, he has to respect that sentry. That's a dangerous sentry there for ReBellioN. He can force field and slice up the army. Remember, there's no blink, there's no war prism, so once you get caught, you get caught. Meanwhile, Zoun up to 2 oracles. 2 oracles, they do one-shot probes. 1 shield battery does not do enough to protect a mineral line, but there is an army in position. There are stalkers backing him to defend, so ReBellioN, he's ready for that 2nd oracle. Likewise, just keeping tabs on Zoun. We do have Zoun warping in across the map to counterattack. Likewise, it means that he can reinforce these oracles to try to break through a main army. As Zoun does confirm that ReBellioN is expanding. Hallucination from ReBellioN confirms the 1 base all in. ReBellioN now knows, but can he stop it? Oracles A3. Oh my god. Bit of an overreaction there from ReBellioN. Expansion does complete. Zoun can set up a pylon outside of the natural, and here comes the army. Here come the stalkers. Stasis traps are a little bit far back, but regardless, they're there to support. Stalkers As they dive in, they get one. One probe goes down. Sorry, one stalker I meant. Probe's under fire as well. We just see Zoun threatening a dive, but the army stands strong. Likewise, ReBellioN pushing up the ramp, but he runs into a concave. ReBellioN getting pulled apart here. He's forced to recall. Forced to recall back home. If he leaves the main, then it's going to be exposed. Stalkers, they do rotate. That's the trigger here for Zoun. As he can still take the fight. Pushing forward, Oracles, they hit the main. There's 9 mining. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. Oh, Zoun has to get out of here. Ideally pulling away towards the stasis traps. Oracles, they distract. More probes going to be falling. Zoun stutter stepping forward, catching a stalker. He commits. It does commit. Now we're down to 2 stalkers. Down to 1. 1 stalker left. Reinforcements have arrived. We don't even need the stasis traps. Oh my god. Zoun doesn't even need them. He breaks on through. Cleans up the army. There's only 1 adept left. And Zoun has done it. GG gets called. Zoun will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Game 1, of course, Zoun flexing his defense, able to survive the 2-base all-in of ReBellioN. Here in Game 2, Zoun, in a way, kind of forced into an all-in. He was contained, of course, by ReBellioN, and he was able to sneak out a probe. He was able to get a pylon up and running. And, yeah, just really nice moves, not just with the army, but with the oracles as well. Kind of forcing ReBellioN in a really rough position. The reality is, ReBellioN, he could have just given up the natural. In that kind of game state, bearing in mind that his opponent was 1 base all in, you can afford to just give up on the natural base and secure yourself on your 1 base instead and play 1 base versus 1 base and have the defender's advantage. ReBellioN, instead, he tried to save the natural and he was pulled apart. He was pulled apart then and there. GG, well played. Zoun will advance on. He will advance on into the next round. And the question becomes, who will he face off against? Now we can take this time. We can take a moment here to go over the bracket itself. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourself.